After Leahy accuses Kavanaugh of email scandal, Grassley cracks the whip by US4Trump.com. Wednesday, on the second day of Judge Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation hearing, Democrats and protesters played their circus games on Capitol Hill once again. Judge Brett Kavanaugh didn't take the bait that the Democrats were throwing his way. During the hearing, Senator Patrick Leahy accused Judge Brett Kavanaugh of handling stolen emails during his time at the White House, during his time as a White House lawyer, suggesting he had a part in what the senator called digital Watergate. Mr. Leahy's question came from 2003 when a GOP Senate staffer, Manuel Miranda, gained access to the Democratic side of the computer server used by the Judiciary Committee and used the information to plot strategy with the White House over future nominees. Did Mr. Miranda ever provide you with highly specific information regarding what I or other Democratic senators were planning in the future to ask certain judicial nominees? Leahy asked. Kavanaugh explained that he and Manny shared information but didn't have knowledge that some of it may have been stolen. Not at all, Senator, the judge replied. Let's take a quick listen here. Grassley snaps on Senator Leahy over the stolen emails.
You never received an email from a Republican staff member with information claiming to come from spying on Democratic mole?
I'm not going to rule anything out, Senator. But if I did, I wouldn't have thought that anything. I wouldn't have thought that the literal meaning of that. But
I wouldn't it surprise you that if you got an email saying you got that from somebody spying on Democrats?
Well, is there such an email, sir? I don't know.
Well, we'd have to ask the chairman what he has in his confidential material.
But here's the, if you're referring to something in particular, here's what I know.
Hey, just stop a minute here. Reference twice in your 30 minutes, and don't take this off of his time. You made reference. You're talking about the period of time that he was White House counsel.
Yep.
That material's available to everybody.
So that bit of the material about him that's marked committee confidential is now public and available? Is that what you're saying? If that's what the chairman say, we got a whole new series of questions.
No, not if it's committee confidential, but
so
you have access to it.
Not so that I
don't forget, 80% of the material we've gotten from the library is on the website of the Judiciary Committee, so the public has access to it.
No,
proceed.
I want Judge Kavanaugh to have access so that we can ask him these questions under oath and he can see them. So I would ask and we'll have another round, but I would ask the chairman if he might look at some of these that are marked committee confidential, which limits the ability of us to ask you specifically and hand you the specific emails. But I would state on what has been public.
Let me answer that for you. There's only one Democratic senator asked for access to that. Senator Klobuchar got it. If you're interested in it, you could have been asking ever since August the 25th, I believe.
We've been asking to have that those made public. I'm not as interested if I see this in a closed room where I can't talk about it. I want Judge Kavanaugh to see the emails which came from Mr. Miranda
give us a citation of the documents and we'll get them for you.
Let's take a listen. Senator Leahy accuses Brett Kavanaugh of obtaining his stolen.
Did Mr. Miranda ever provide you with highly specific information regarding what I or other Democratic senators were planning in the future to ask certain judicial nominees?
Well, one of the things we would do as a White House is on judicial nominations, and I'm coming to your answer, but I want to explain, is to meet up here, and this happens on both sides all the time, with teams up here about, okay, their judicial nominations, our judicial nominees are coming up, how are we going to get them through? Here's a hearing coming up. And during those meetings, of course it would be discussed, well, I think here's what Senator Leahy's going to be interested in. That's very common. I'm sure in President Obama's administration, when they had similar meetings, they would probably have meetings and say, well, I think this is what Senator Graham will be interested in. That's what you do in meetings with, so highly specific would, I think, I'm not sure what you're getting at by highly specific.
I've been here over 40 years. I know what both Republican and Democratic administrations do in preparing. I'm not asking about that. I'm asking you, why before this did Mr. Miranda send you an email asking you on July 19, 2002, asking you and another Bush official why the Leahy people were looking into financial ties between two special interest groups and Priscilla Owen, a particular
From 2002.
controversial
How's the guy
nominee
gonna
to the
remember?
Fifth Circuit. You would handle that Owen nomination. As you know, as a judge, she'd received a lot of contributions. Well, did Mr. Miranda send you an email asking you why the Leahy people were looking into her financial ties?
Is that what this email is?
I'm just asking you.
Can I take a minute to read it?
Of course.
Okay.
And this incident was 4 days before her hearing on July 23rd.
Did I send any of the emails on this chain? I don't think so. I think I'm CC'd. In any event, if he said, why are the Leahy people looking into this? From Manny Miranda. I don't really have a specific recollection of any of this, Senator, but it would not have been at all unusual for, and this happens all the time, I think, which is the Leahy people are looking into this and the Hatch people are looking into that. I think.
You say all the time, 2 days before the hearing, he told you that the Democrats were passing around a related 60 Minutes story, and he said his intelligence, suggests that Leahy will focus on all things money. Well, that appears to come from a stolen email to me, stolen by the Republican staff member sent to me the night before, and then given to you the next morning. Were you aware that you were getting from Mr. Miranda stolen emails?
Not at all, Senator. It was part of what appeared to be standard discussion about, it's common, Senator, for at the White House, it'd be common to hear from our Leg Affairs team. This is, in fact, in this process, it's common to hear. This is what Senator X is interested in. This is what Senator Y is going to
Was it common to have copies of a private email sent to a particular senator?
Copies of a private email sent to a particular senator.
Yes. Wouldn't that jump out at you?
What are you referring to?
Well, Mr. Miranda is telling you about emails sent to me the night before. There'd be no way that he would even have that unless he stole it. Did that raise any question in your mind?
Did he refer to that email in this?
Yes.
And where is that, Senator?
I'll let you read it.
Well, I'm not seeing where you're. I'm not seeing what you're referring to.
Yeah, it's not here.
Well, let me take you one that you do have.
Well, that was riveting. How's the guy going to remember something from 2002 or something? What? Like, what are they, can we have Hillary under that kind of questioning? Wouldn't that be precious? Let's see how she answers. This is outrageous. I liked Chuck Grassley in the beginning because he knew what he was talking about. And he said, why didn't you raise that before? You're under stress at that point. People protesting and screaming and getting arrested, and then how's he going to remember these things? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and again, thank you so much for watching.